like yesterday, everyone has already gone through these questions and answers, I guess. Right? Here I have a question, guys. Just confirm me, like, if you can hear me out or not. Guys, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, Park, we can hear you.
Yeah. Thanks. So here I have one question. So I'm going to create a variable which is of array of string. Okay. I have an assign activity here, and I'm going to put some values here. Okay. So this is my array variable. I have like array of names, and I'm using a for each loop, and the list items are array variable, and the current item log message info current item. Okay. So if I run this flow, we have all the names printed. But what I want to do is I want to use a continue activity here, and after that I want to use a break activity. So if I execute this flow, how many names this execution is going to print? This is the exhibit.
But can you maximize your screen? Because your screen, okay, now it's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
So here is my array variable. I have all the names, and I'm looping through each name, and I'm writing a log message. And after that, inside the loop, I'm writing a log message. And after that, I use the continue activity, and I use the break activity. So how many names does it will print in the output panel if I execute now? Size -1. And Akash is saying all the names. What about you other guys? This I am asking like yesterday for one of my friend, like in one of the interview they asked this question. This is my exhibit. I have all the names. So how many can you see the screen, Satish? Okay. So here is my question. So the question will be in this way only. They'll say that like they'll explain you, they'll ask you that like I have a variable and I have four string values inside that array, and I'm looping through each array value, and I'm using a log message or a write line, and I'm using a continue activity and the break activity after that. So how many values will be printed? So here if you see, right, this log message is going to write your value, and the break is to break your loop, but the continue is to skip that particular transaction, which means like after writing you're skipping this transaction, which means like it will not execute the next activities of that particular iteration, which means this break activity will not be executed. And again it will come for the second item, it will print the name, and again it will come to the continue, and it will skip the next activity break, and again it will go for the third. So in that way it is going to print all the values. Break activity will be skipped because continue activity will skip all the next set of activities of that iteration. For all the iterations, activity before continue will execute. So the program or execution will print all the values. Here, guys. Clear on this? Save. Okay, so hope guys, I'm not sure like if you have any questions till today's session, please let me know. I'll answer all the questions. If not, I'll continue with the next topic. So let us take this RPA challenge only, and let us see the additional advantage what your modern does. If you reverse the break, then continue, then it will print name only. Yes, correct. Because it will break the loop. So we automated this RPA challenge with the help of classic design, right? And let us see the advantage what we are going to get with the modern design. So what I want to do is I'll change the project to modern design experience. Yeah. So here we'll be using use application or browser instead of attach browser or attach window, right? Like here in the classic design, we have separate activities for the web automation and the desktop automation. Whereas for the web automation, like we will be having attached browser, and for the desktop automation, we have attached window. But here for desktop and the browser, it will be same always. We can indicate on the screen. So it could able to retrieve the URL as well. And in the properties, right, the properties will be a bit changing. Here, like, do you want to close once operations is done? So we can just keep that like opened by app browser or never. So it's up to us like how we want to keep the application, like whether we want to close or we want to keep it open. So for now, I don't want to close and open if not open. In case if this application is not open, it will automatically open it. If that is already open, then it will not. Resize, maximize. I want to have all the time maximized window. Input method Chromium API. Hardware events is nothing but the default, and we have a simulate, and I have send Windows messages. And the background automation is it's a completely a different concept. Like, see, it is similar to the simulate only. Like, you will not see what actually happening in the foreground. Like, even if the screen is out backside, in the back end, it will execute. Even in the minimized screen, also the execution will happen. So let us go with the Chromium API only. So we will be having the application instance only, attached mode. So we have all this, right? Now we want to do the type into, right? We need to indicate on the screen. Let us have the first name. Now we have the strict selectors and fuzzy selectors. So what is the difference between the strict selectors and the fuzzy selectors? If I enable, right, like it is giving the exact selector. So it should look for 100% match. If I uncheck, it will go for a fuzzy match, which means like it will go for the most highest percent match of the element, which means like if it is 90% matching, then it will consider, or 80% matching, and if it is not having any other element more than 80% match, then it will go for it. So the fuzzy selector is that like the approximate or most matching element. So let us click on confirm. Now we will type name. See, the modern design concept is much more easier than the classic. Let me run this file. So let me refresh it. First name is at this place now. From 4th place to it came to 6th place. Let us run this. I'm not modifying any selectors here, but it is typing that properly, which means like the fine tuning of selectors and all these things we can avoid automatically. The reason is, if you see, right, it is having a blue and then we have a green. Blue is an anchor, green is the element, which means it is automatically capturing your anchors, and automatically it is trying to select your stable elements. And let us suppose if we are identifying the elements, like there are two options, right? Object repository and indicate on in screen. And if in case if we are going with this indicating on the screen, see if you see here, right? We wrongly identified, which is not correct. Cancel. Let us identify this. See, this is the target and this is the anchor. Okay. And even we can have a target selector available and we have an anchor selector as well. Even we can modify the selector for this as well. See, it's up to us in case if you want to have like if you want to modify, or depends on us. In case if you want to, we remove the anchor, let us add one anchor again. So in case if you want to modify this, we can go to the UI Explorer here. See, all the other things are common, but the advantage what you are going to get is it is automatically identifying the anchors, and not only the anchors, not only the selectors, it is considering the computer vision as well. See, for target you don't have because there is no text available. Where is my anchor? Let us identify an anchor. And if you see here, right, it is saying that we computer vision is nothing but the AI based identification on top of a screen, right? And it is identifying the last name as a tag and the image also. So it will look for that most accurate and automatically it will identify, which means like without doing anything from our end, it is going to take care of the things. This is at the top level selector. Okay. In case if you click on this, right, it is identifying all the elements based on the computer vision. Show all CV elements in the sense it is based on the computer vision. It could able to identify all these elements. Okay. So let me click on cancel. In case if we are doing this in this way, then what is that other advantage? See, of course, it is doing an automatic stable selector identification and all these things. We are happy for it. But in case if we are identifying in each element, what is the major advantage we are going to get? We are not going to get the major advantage. And this is not the right way to do the automations in modern design concept. Let me do one. Delete this. So I don't want to go and indicate on this. What I will do is, under the object repository, under the UI descriptors, I'll right click and I'll click on create an application. And I can give the application name RPA challenge. Click on create application. And inside this, I want to create a screen. Form fill. And I can indicate on the screen here. I indicated on it. So let me do one thing. Let me refresh it. Edit application descriptor. We can check whether the selector is stable or not. Okay. Click cancel. Create a screen. So a screen is got created, and in the use application or a browser, we will be using the screen, which means we are specifying that work on this particular screen. See now, even whatever we identified manually, the same thing got reflected here. And now inside this, we can have create an element. So let us create an element. Submit button. Indicate on the screen. Identify the submit. Click on confirm. If you see here properly, right, like here we are not tuning the selectors, we are automatically taking it. When you are not that much good with the selectors and all, right, the better way is to go with the modern design, because that is going to take care of each and everything. And we can have a click activity. And if you see here, right, the form filling screen is already got reflected here. And now we need to have an element. Either we need to indicate or we need to drag and drop an element. So I'm dragging this element and I'm keeping it. So automatically it got reflected. Okay. And the another advantage, right click, capture elements. Like if we just go with this capture elements, and here under the form filling, click on capture all elements. See here, automatically all the elements got captured. Okay. And this element is not required for me. I just holded the control and I clicked it. So that is got deselected. And I have all these elements. Click on capture. So all the elements, now it is getting highlighted, right? All these elements are all automatically got captured. So it is not necessary for me to go to each and every element and identify the elements. Click on OK. And here the cloud download button is not required. Download Excel is good enough for me. So I can delete this. On delete button, that will be deleted. So I got email, role in the company, company name, first name, address, and phone number. So do I have anything else? Last name is missing because it was below that. So what I can do is I can identify this last name. I got it. So in case if something is missing, we just need to identify, and we got all the elements now. And what we need to do is we just need to use type into, and in case if you want to go with the first name, you just need to go with the first name. This is how easy is this to do the things. And let me do one thing. Let me delete all the elements. I don't want to have any elements. Delete. Okay. Run this file. We are going to get an error for sure. No. Okay. Though we deleted the objects, it is taking the select as a yes. Okay. Let me delete this. What I want to do is I want to create an element which is the first name. Confirm. And I'm saying that this is first name. Click on save. And I want to go for the type into. I'm just dragging and dropping here. And let us run this. The name, it is typing, right? So what I will do is we can go to the edit element or edit descriptor. So I'll go to the edit descriptor and I selected this. Went for a last name instead of first name, but I'm giving it as first name, which means I just updated the object from this object repositories. Run this file. Now it will type in the last name, which means I am not modifying anything here in the activity. I'm just updating the object so that it is automatically getting reflected in the activities. In case if any selector got changed going further in the application, we just need to update these objects. Automatically, it will be updated across the project wherever we are using those objects. So instead of like going to each and every activity to see whether the selector is stable or not, or selectors are got changed or not, we can consolidate everything under this and we can validate here itself. Right? Clear so far?
But so based on your past experience or client feedback, so in the real-time project, basically we should go with the modern design activity or the classic design activity, or it's based
See,
on totally requirement.
see, in case if you ask about my past experience, right? Till I think 21 version, I guess the object repository or a modern design concept is not available. And though we have in that 21 version, 20 and 21 version, I think we have in between. And at that time, no one has implemented the modern design. The reason is it recently came. Unless and until we have a stability, we will not go for it. See, any feature, whatever is got released, right? We will wait for at least 1 or 2 releases, one or
Okay.
2 more releases, because we want to have the assess the stability. We cannot directly migrate to the new features. We cannot directly utilize the new features, right? And now what actually happening is all the projects whoever is going to create right now are going with the modern design. And now there is a proposal for a couple of organizations. See, it depends on organization to organization. They are migrating their projects from classic to the modern now.
Okay.
So in your view, which design looks to be easy for you guys to do the UI automation? Does this look similar to your page object model?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same to form a page object model.
So this is like how we work on the modern design. So there is nothing new thing we have here. Like, see, the concept is same when it comes to the UI interactions. The activity names are same. The only thing is, instead of directly identifying the selectors, we are going to create an objects and we are going to use those objects here. Okay. And if you see, right, these are the descriptors at the project level. And we have something called as UI libraries. So what is the advantage of UI libraries? See, if you see here, right, let me do one thing. Let me go here. Let me delete this. Delete this as well. Let me come here. Capture elements under this form. What is happening here? The elements not working. So let me add a screen, create a screen, or else what I can do, capture elements. There's something wrong happening. Let me do one thing. Let me just close this and reopen this application.
So Parth, basically what is the use of object repository here? So we are basically creating the different
See
elements
here,
like
see here you are identifying on the page, right? Every element you are going and identifying it. But here in the object repository, you're just capturing all those things in the as part of objects, and then you are utilizing them in your activities. And let us suppose your application selectors got changed. Some new version is released for your application. You need to validate to each and every selector by going to each and every activity, right? When you have multiple workflow files, a lot of activities, it will be very hard for you to go and check each and every activity.
Correct.
And we can have it here. And here itself, we can validate all the elements. And even see, for all these elements, right, we went to each and every element and we identified manually, right? Even here also, in case if you are using that, here also you need to do. But here, if you come here, right, we'll click on the capture elements. What is happening here? Create a screen. RPA challenge page. You can indicate on the screen. Create a screen. Capture elements. Why it is? Okay, let me create one element manually. We indicate the first name. If you go back and check my video, right, like we have an option to select all the elements at a time, at one go. So I'm think like something might happen and I'm facing the issue of getting this pop-up visible. There is some issue. Like once I restart my machine, the things will be resolved. Okay. So for now, let me just go with these three. I just have only one element. Let us consider, and I have this application, right? This application I'm using across multiple projects. Like I have 4 to 5 projects where I am using the same application, and which is got updated, and I need to modify all my selectors, right? Agree?
Correct. Yes.
So what I can do is I'll click on this RPA challenge descriptors. Create. Let me go here. Let me see where it is got. Let me click on publish. RPA challenge descriptors. Publish. Who asked to publish the share sheet? Click on next. This we will see later, okay? I'm just going to keep this in the downloads. Okay. So I'm going to have a new UiPath project created. So we worked on this RPA challenge, right? Let me open sample project now. I'll go to the manage packages. I need to configure my downloads. In case if you have it somewhere in the local, right, we can configure it. So these are the source control, like where we have all the activities are placed, and we can have local, official, and marketplace and all these things. So let me add the downloads also. Downloads select folder. Click on add and go to the downloads. UI libraries also. We should get all what has happened. We go to my downloads. Here I have manage packages. So if you see, right, here I have RPA challenge UI library. I'll click on install and click on save. See here, I got that screen, I got the element. And in case if I update this, like I got a project created, right? Where is it? Documents, and inside that UiPath, see descriptors. I can open this project and I can update these things and I can republish the new version. So in case if I am using it in across multiple projects, In all the projects, I just need to go here. I just need to click on update. So let us do one thing. Instead
So
of
it
first
means
name,
it
yeah.
means through object repository, basically we are creating the reusable component, right?
Yes.
We can use anywhere based on
Yes.
our requirement.
Exactly. Not only the reusable component, we can say it's a reusable libraries, because your reusable objects. So the first name is there, right? What I want to do is I'll delete it because we are not using it, right? So I'll click on I delete it, and I'll click on publish, and under the downloads I published a new version. Okay, let me close this, and under this, if you see, right, I got a new version, and here we have a first name. Click on update. There. I got that got removed, which means like I can update this library anytime in case if the application is updated or something got changed. I can update this library anytime, the objects, and I can republish. And I just need to do is I just need to come here and I'll update the package, and all the things will get reflected and everything will work as expected. Okay, clear everyone? So do you know about object repository? What are the advantages of modern design and object repository? What are UI libraries? These are the three questions which can be asked on the modern design. Nothing else. Yeah, one more question. These four are the questions which generally asked in the interviews. There will not be any other questions than these. Okay. And the modern design is much more easy compared to the classic design, right?
Yes, Path, yeah, correct.
Yeah. So anyhow, like you already did this in classic, right? So do the same thing for the modern design as well. So this is one task. And do this as well. Okay. In both the classic and the modern design. Guys, tomorrow I may not be able to take the session because tomorrow I'll be in traveling. So for tomorrow, right, please focus more and complete these two tasks on like during this 1.5 hour time, like, because other times you guys will be busy, I know. And once this is done, right, what we are going to do is we are going to actual coding, actual backend coding concepts of UiPath, right? Oops, I missed out the thing, right? Full text native and OCR. Let us come back. We have more time, right? We'll cover those. And from day after tomorrow, we are going to start with the Excel. And then we are going to go for the file operations and email automations. See, we may or may not able to cover all the may or may not able to cover all the protocols, because Exchange I'm not pretty sure whether we can cover or not, but we can cover the SMTP, we will cover the Outlook and IMAP. See, for all these protocols, right, whatever the authentication method, that actually varies, but all the operations which we are going to perform will be same, because it will be a mail message object. And then this is much more interesting concept, the regular expressions and the PDF automations. So we'll start actual programming probably once this data table is done. Excel workbook is also like will be similar to all the activities we have. But from here, right, then we will start feeling of the UiPath or like C# syntaxes and what actually the coding syntaxes we will do. So that will start from here. Okay. And we missed out this screen scraping methods and the data scraping, right? We'll cover it now. Clear, guys?
Okay, Pat. Sure.
Screen scraping. What is screen scraping? Getting the text from any application or a web page or any desktop application interface is called screen scraping. Reading the text to a string variable is called screen scraping. What is data scraping? Reading a text structured text to a data table variable is called data scraping. So generally, this will be asked: what is difference between the screen scraping and the data scraping? And for the data scraping, right, we will be having only one way, which is nothing but like we'll go to here. You have a table, right? And you want to extract the data from this table. You click on the table extraction. You can have in we can have a new column and select it. Now it is saying that would you like to extract all the columns from the table? Click on S. All the data will be received. You got all the data. Extract data from multiple pages. Just enable this, and it will ask where is the next button. So it is disabled. So I'll click on next. So we got the next button. Click on save and close. So it will be automatically got generated. It was, and it is returning me a data table. So if you want to extract the table from a screen, you just need to identify at least one column, right? And that will return you. Let me go here, click on classic. So this is the modern design concept, and the classic design also you'll be having the same. Let me do one thing. Here, right, scrapping, data scrapping and table extraction. Table extraction is nothing but the modern design, which we have done. Data scrapping is the classic. And you are going to get a separate wizard. Click on next and just identify it. It will ask you again. Extract the table, click on S. You got all the table. And click on finish. It will ask you, do you want to have a next page also? Identify it. it's done. So if you see, right, here you have attached browser, here you have use application browser, extract table data, extract structured data. So almost similar, irrespective whether you are going with a modern design or a classic design, it is almost similar. And see, this is like a table, as and when you just identified it, it is asking that like you want me to extract all the table data. And if you go to Amazon, so many people might have already saw this, right? Because in majority of the demos, it will be the same. And let me go with this air conditioner. Let me come back. Let me search something. iPhone. So I want to get all these value names and the amount from the screen. So here I want to go for a data scraping. Click on next. Identified. I identified one value, and we need to identify in the similar pattern. And probably it would be great in case if you identify the last most number. Click on next. Identify. If you see, right, all the names got highlighted. All the names of the products got highlighted, and that will be into one column. The above things are not got selected because it is sponsored. It is different from this pattern. So it will identify these values under the column based on the pattern. So you can have name, click on next, and we want to have the amount as well. So we need to click on extract correlated data. Select this and go all the way down. Click on next, select this and price. On next. See, here we have maximum results to 100, and you can have 0, so that like how many is available, or you'll get all the data, or else you'll get only 100. And do you want to have another page also? Yes, I do have, and here is my next button. Click on as next. So it will automatically extract all this phone related data into a data table. So this is how we do the data scraping for a structured data. Either it can be of tables or it can have some pattern available. So are we clear till this place? Now we'll look at the screen scraping. See, knowingly or unknowingly, in one of the use case, right, we used get text activity. Get text activity is nothing but screen scraping. So let us come here. Screen scraping, sorry. Here is the screen scraping. Click on the screen scraping, and you just need to identify your element. From which element you want to have text. You can have it from here. So you got all the text. New corporate customers. So whatever the text is available on this screen, we got everything. And here we have 3 methods: native, full text, and OCR. Click on native. Click on refresh. You got all the text. Okay. There is no formatting available. If I remove this and click on refresh, nothing changed. Full text, refresh. So we got this. Okay, but let me come here. The state is there, right? Let us identify on the state. I want to go for this. I'll click on the screen scraping. I'll just come here. Native. I got select state. Okay. I'll go here. Click on full text. Click on refresh. If I go to native, I got state. 2 times I'm getting it, but I have only one, right? Not this one. I'm just looking for some better. So I'm not getting the correct example, but in between I'll let you know, guys. As and when like we came across that, I will let you know. But if you see here, right, agent and down arrow mark is available here. Let us go here, agent and the down arrow mark, which means like when you're going with the OCR, it doesn't matter what actually the element is referring, and whatever is available on that particular element in terms of image, it will extract those. Okay. So we can change the OCR engine. So based on that, refresh agent V. So, so it depends on like what actually looks, whatever is visible on the element, that will be extracted as a text for OCR. And if I change it to the tesseract characters custom and denied, if I'm giving V, click on refresh. See, that V is removed. You got some semicolon, some colon, right? Similar symbol. So we can restrict the characters, but we are not sure, right, what type of values we are going to get from it. So OCR is the least preferred method to extract the text from the screen. In case if you could not able to do that with the help of native or a full text, then you should try OCR, because the OCR is slower and the low accurate. Full text and native are a bit more faster than compared to the OCR, and the native is going to give you the word information, which is nothing but the positions, the screen coordinates. It's going to give the screen coordinates, the pixel positions, whereas the full text is going to give you even some hidden text is also available. Let us suppose, not getting that exact example, man. Let me click on cancel. So we are not getting exact, but so full text will return you even some text is not available to view on the screen, and in case if that element holds any text, this option is there, ignore hidden, just to make sure that you are getting whatever the text is available on the screen. Okay, let us do one thing. Let us have one full text. Refresh. For each and every character, For each and every word, I can say, not character, you are getting the coordinates x1, x2, y1, y2. On finish. And scrapping. Click on finish. So let us try to understand one thing. Let me just move this to here. And do some activities. Okay, we'll see that error later. So if you see here, right, get full text activity. This is get text activity. Get visible text. So we'll use get visible text activity. Okay. Here you will have get full text activity. So always I prefer to go with the get full text. And in case if I doesn't want to have the value of it, please here it is. Yeah. Ignore hidden one. I'll just mark this to be true so that whatever is hidden will not reflect back. So I always prefer to go with the get full text. And in case if the elements are not available and it is not feasible, only in that particular case, I will go for get OCR text. Because this is low accurate and low reliable. So let me go for a better comparison table, right? Put screen scrapping methods. You can have this table with us. So extraction of the position will happen for native and OCR. We have seen, right, the position. And the speed is always good with the full text. So that's the reason for which accuracy and speed is too good. That is the reason for which I always prefer to go with that. Because when we are getting the text, it is not necessary to have the positions. In very rare scenarios, it might be required. And it is having a capability of background execution, which means if I was on the screen and if I'm trying to extract the data from the screen, right, it will not like pull the screen up. It will be on the same backside and the data will be extracted. And it is having capability. The capability is available only with the full text. Of course, this will not support with the Citrix. Only the OCR will support the Citrix because Citrix doesn't have any selectors and it is purely image based. And the accuracy is less and the speed of execution is also slow. Okay. So are we clear with the screen scrapping and the data scrapping as well? Let me know if you have any questions.
So Parth, basically which type of interview will ask from this section?
Generally they may ask about like the difference between the screen scrapping and data scrapping. That will be one question. They may ask previously they used to ask like which type of screen scrapping method is faster, which is supports the background. They used to ask a long back. Nowadays no one is asking any questions on screen scrapping. In case if they want to ask if any question is there on top of this, right, even for the examination or something, it will be completely on top of this table only. Whether the background execution supports or not, which is faster, which is more accurate, which will support the hidden text extraction. Like they may ask, like from the drop downs, how if you want to extract the text from the drop downs, in the sense, let me come here. From here, if you want to get all this text, right? So in majority of the cases, majority of the cases, what will happen, the full text will return you all the values you have in the drop down also. So they may ask this question that in case if you have a drop down, how you are going to get it. So one is like we can try with the full text method, because majority of the cases it will return. If not, we will expand the drop down and then we will use the get text. Not only hovering, yeah. Instead of hovering, we will be having something drop down. We will do this, right?
Get text or get full text path?
See, in case if you are going with this directly get text, right? That will be get full text. And there is another option that you can hit F2 and you can expand this, and then you can identify this complete drop down element to get the text like this. In this way, it will be even get text is also fine. Let me try to see what actually we have here, because in majority of the cases it will retain. Don't know. So that will be one of the questions. So like probably when we are going right in any of the use cases, we may come across that, then I'll show you that. Okay.
Sure, Path, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't have any questions, then